Ever since the south node of the moon has been in Scorpio, ask yourself, are there any habit patterns that I keep redoing over and over again that aren't serving me? Is there any toxicity with what I'm doing to myself to gain power, to gain control? This could be in relationships, this could be for your physical health, or, well, actually, if you're doing things that are destructive to your body, or just any habit pattern, anything that doesn't serve you. And because of that insecurity, because you don't trust yourself, because of not trusting yourself, because of not feeling secure within yourself and at peace with yourself, we can seek validation from outside, and we can resort to emotional manipulation. These are all stuff that we're purging. And the South Node in Scorpio has been really quite powerful for so many people out there. Now, I highly recommend that you, let me just find it here. I highly recommend this video because this is one of the best, most in-depth, insightful videos on the transit of the South Node in Scorpio, North Node in Taurus transit that happened from January 18th. It's going to continue on to July 18th of this year when the nodes change signs and move into Aries and Libra. South Node in Scorpio, North Node in Taurus. The video is called Taurus North Node, Scorpio South Node, Breaking Free of Past Pain. That video. The channel is owning authenticity, and she really delves deep into the, just the transit and what it is about. And, it's something to, get comfortable and, sit down and watch and, really absorb. Because she does such a great job of giving you the information so that it's clear, but also very in-depth and very real and very spiritual also. So, I'm just going to say, for me personally, I've been dealing with patterns when it comes to just my own personal hygiene. I'm not going to go into it because, oh, wait a second. I have to force myself to say it. I'm uncomfortable. I'm not going to do it. Now, there's a major difference between that. I mean, I don't have to tell you exactly what it is. I don't really want to. When you're making videos for YouTube, you just, on YouTube, working for the company, good group. But there can be natural boundaries where you can express yourself only so much, and there's a natural boundary of how you express yourself online, of how you put yourself out there. So, um, you know, I personally, I don't want to say that I have, any kind of disorder or anything like that. I don't want to go that far. And I don't want anyone commenting, questioning about me and my personal, situation and what's going on, asking, do you have this? Do I would advise you not to do that if you're watching this. If you know what I'm talking about when I say compulsive habits and patterns that I'm trying to break, I wouldn't down in the comments question if I have something or other. Yeah, because that's uncomfortable. And yeah, I wouldn't like to be put in the spotlight that particular way. Because I don't want to come off as somebody who's kind of, unintelligent, random, just somebody, I don't want to come across that way. But I firmly believe, as someone who has a sun in Aries and being who you are, and not trying to be someone you're not holding back to. That's Aries energy. So, Aries as a sign in astrology is ruled by Mars. If, here's the deal. I will be incorporating astrology into my videos because it's that kind of thing. You can tie it into so much. Because it's just pertinent to what I'm talking about. If it didn't apply to what I'm talking about, I would not put it in. But it does. So, Aries is ruled by Mars, Scorpio is ruled by Mars and Pluto. And so, the South Node in Scorpio deals with the shadow sides of Scorpio and the higher vibration Scorpio, which we can lead into the North Node. I talk all about this on my North Node, South Node video, where I get into the South Node and North Node. But the South Node can be compelling to dive right back into. In some cases, that's good because you need that. You need a refresher. You need to come back home. You need a place to, for your plane to land on the ground, etc. But you also need to grow, to evolve, to expand, to, become, to just in order to gain more meaning in this lifetime and more purpose, staying in that same comfort zone that you're comfortable with, which is the South Node. Not the way to go because you're going to hit a wall. And you're just going to swim around in a fish tank. And the South Node in Scorpio can link to, sort of brings to light anything destructive that you may be doing. It could be drinking or smoking, but it could also be any number of things. Any number of things. And so when we are willing to break those habit patterns, which may involve being uncomfortable, it may involve challenge, may involve difficulty, it may involve robbing yourself of the pleasure of taking care of what you need to. And it may also involve facing certain uncertainties and dealing with that feeling that you feel of insecurity and just letting the thought be there. And I've been there. I really have. The different energy when you feel secure and you're watching a YouTube video versus when you feel insecure. Because you're feeling like, you need to do something and, you're robbing yourself of just taking care of it and you're just sitting on what you should be doing. And so that is what I have been, dealing with in my own personal life all the while I've been making videos and doing all these kind of things. I've also dealt with guilt for past stuff. I can't tell you the myriad of videos that I deleted. Almost 2 years of videos down the drain because I was compulsive and I wanted something to change. I didn't care. One video after the other, I deleted it. That's also a destructive quality of Scorpio because it can be pulling you down. I just want this to happen now. I want to go after it. I'm willing to destroy whatever this is in order to have this a certain way. That's Scorpio energy. North Node in Taurus is calm, it's stable, it's patient, it's steady, it is rooted to the earth. And it is also relating to persistence of not giving up because it is a fixed earth sign. And with the North Node in Taurus from the South Node in Scorpio end, we can validate ourselves. Can we find that peace, that tranquility, that assurance? Beyond the self-doubt, beyond the the fears and anxieties that we have, beyond not trusting ourselves. By the way, can somebody play some profound piano music to that? Anyway. So, yeah. Maybe you would clip that right there from the video. But anyway. So, that's what it involves. And tough love is going to be entered into the conversation here. It may feel like you're hurting yourself, you're being mean to yourself, but you're really doing good for yourself. And growth is uncomfortable. I mean, nobody said that all growth is easy. So, that becomes important. Now, looking for external validation is another destructive tendency with the South. Well, not destructive, but harmful tendency. And when we can develop self-trust, self-assurance, and with the North Node in Aries coming to town here this summer, we can develop self-confidence. I mean, I really don't have, and the thing is, when you feel like, oh, what I'm doing is illogical, it's excessive, it's destructive, it's, wrong, etc., then it's time to do something about it. And that might be difficult because you've been so enmeshed and so used to doing something a certain way. You may not know how you may be able to figure out, but you know that you cannot go on living like the way that you're living because it is not sustainable for the long term. That's Capricorn energy, what works for the long haul, the long term. And Capricorn, I feel that Capricorn nurtures in a way where, I care about you. And I want what's best for you, and I want you to become self-sufficient and, cultivate your own inner authority. Because Capricorn has a really strong inner authority. And with Aries, Capricorn coming together with Aries in general, that's a super dynamic match of two signs right there. So much can be achieved with Capricorn squaring Aries. Mars, which rules Aries, is exalted in Capricorn. Now, in astrology, I'm not going to go there because it's not what I believe. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Bye for now.